lights on the action on the camera!
You forgot the fan in the chamber!
Let's go, bub. Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
All right, we are back. Let me check. I think we got all of our mics. Everybody's coming in. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Yes, we have everybody coming in. Hooray! All right, cool. So we are still testing out that new backend system for broadcasting called Video Ninja. So if you're interested in broadcasting or so on and so forth, you can always check that out. It's always an option for those of you who are looking to do podcasting or whatnot. It apparently works with better bandwidth and is more friendly on cell phones or in mobile devices. So we are back. We are live. And Dale, why don't you give us, since you were once again the only one of the group that was here from last week or from the last game, why don't you give us just a brief recap of kind of where we left off?
Yeah, let's see. Notes are kind of spotty this time, but effectively, it didn't seem like we did like a whole lot, actually. Ms. McCall visited us at the Vein.
So we're back in the Vein.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me. So she visited us in the Vein. We spoke to her. She's been made aware that we went to New Prussia, talked to Reichshield. She's also aware now about the existence of Sagan and the fact that Lightbringer is the granddaughter of Reichshield. She's shown that she's more or less forgiven us for the weird mix-up and all of that, and she's willing to help us here and there for certain things, including like helping us get in contact with certain people to help us out for stuff. Let's see here. Hyperion learned fully that Shone has been stealing these things. Like he had just been kind of taking it for granted that she'd be like moral about that stuff, but he's now aware that she's doing that, and he's made her aware that she's not allowed to steal because we're superheroes. Let's see. And then we went and tried to interrogate that Senian spy who we had locked up at the Aegis headquarters. Unfortunately, even though that there was a lot of good work done by Angler, didn't really give up that much additional info. We know very little compared to before. So kind of a bust. And then found out he technically had diplomatic immunity and was escorted out by, I believe, Secret Service, and he's leaving the country as we speak. And I don't have notes for anything else. I think that's more or less where we left off.
Yeah, that's a pretty good recap, kind of the last of what happened. So we'll say it is the next day, and at this point, Angler and Shone are currently busy. Shone probably someplace secluded, thinking about the error of her ways, and the family discussion she suddenly got stuck in when issues of money came up. And at this point, Ixion is back around after having pondered some of the nuances of what he's learned from the trip to New Prussia. And Carmen is back as well. So we'll just say at this point, everybody has kind of circled, those of you who are here have circled back at this point at the vein to kind of meet back up and find out who's what and where and kind of check back in. Since there's been a little bit of downtime for some folks since everything has happened. So it's first thing in the morning at this point again. There is an alarm set off in the vein. Not as in like a battle klaxon or anything. It's more like just an alarm as a reminder. Mainframe is making it known that coffee is now ready.
I was going to say something. You forgot to turn off the oven?
No, he's been fussed at twice with the assumption that he's supposed to be making this.
Yeah. All right. So Hyperion goes ahead and he heads over to the main computer bank. Says, "Thank you for generating the coffee, Mainframe. Much appreciated."
Affirmative. Mainframe gives you his thanks.
And then, let's see, what else does Hyperion do? He then heads over. He tries to find Lightbringer wherever she's at in the vein.
Okay, we'll assume like Lightbringer, since she lives outside the vein, is probably just now arriving.
Okay. Lightbringer, welcome back.
How did things go with Meredith?
They went as expected. She has more or less forgiven what has happened and is willing to help us from time to time, including obtaining social contacts to assist us in different regards. She's also been made aware of everything that transpired in New Prussia with Reichshield, Sagan, and your relationship to Reichshield.
I spoke with her briefly before she left town, but yeah, I don't know, we had a lot to talk about.
Anything productive?
Well, I asked for her advice on what to do about Jurgen, and she was at a loss too, but she kind of made it sound like, against her better judgment, he shows some restraint, and that I may prefer to actually explore a relationship with him. Otherwise, I might miss out on something useful. I don't know, it kind of surprised me. It's kind of a heavy conversation, as you can imagine.
Understandable. I wonder if she is speaking from a position of professionalism. During her long career, I'm sure she's had to speak with many nefarious individuals, whether she wanted to or not, in order to obtain the information for her journalistic career.
Yeah, and she made a parallel to being glad that she didn't sweep Electrum's secrets under the rug. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes and decide later.
Understood. If you do intend to contact Jurgen or try to enhance any relationship you'd have with him, please let us know ahead of time. That way, if something happens, we can be prepared.
Of course. My main concern is, particularly with Sagan, just making sure that our identities remain secret as much as, from the public, and that she doesn't end up feeding our business to him. So I don't know how we're going to handle that either, but that's the main concerns that I have about the situation.
I see. It does seem that, to his credit, what amount we'd be willing to give him, Jurgen is tactical and strategic. He's highly intelligent and has had decades of experience, more so than most other people. He doesn't enact anything unless he knows that he will gain something from it, it seems. I don't believe he would out us unless he felt it was absolutely necessary for him or his plans or his country.
Right.
Speaking of plans, I've had an idea, and I'm glad you're here. I was wondering if I could obtain your help in perhaps designing a new piece of technology that could benefit us in the long run.
Oh, thank God, something that I feel equipped to handle.
Excellent. If you wouldn't mind, if you could obtain the med scanner we created for you, I believe that it may actually work as a prototype to then build a similar type of scanner, a technology scanner. It could be extremely useful for when we encounter super science or anything else that we need to reverse engineer, especially those pieces of equipment, weaponry that Sagan herself possesses.
Certainly. And I'll go get that and start activating it.
Yeah, no problem. It probably would have just been back in a locker or something at this point.
So then, working with Lightbringer and then using that scanner as a basis, now instead of like focusing on organics, retune it for technology, energy patterns, all that stuff to see if we can make a similar doodad but for tech.
You certainly can. Go ahead and give a roll.
Cool.
Which of us is rolling?
It's going to be Dale, but he's a column shift up because you're helping.
Okay, cool.
Right. Is that with my hyper invention?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. So that's going to put it at Say, what is it? Incredible. That makes it amazing. 51 amazing. That puts it green.
Okay. You don't have the technology, or I should say the parts available to construct it. You do, however, have a working blueprint that you are reasonably certain is going to satisfy the basic needs of what it is you're looking for. You're definitely going to have to either invest or buy some of the parts, but if you can get your hands on it, constructing it probably won't be shouldn't be any problem.
Got it. Will the parts be like super expensive or difficult to obtain? Or?
They will be expensive, yes. Not difficult to obtain, however.
Got it.
You basically took the biggest chunk, which would have been the most expensive with the initial scanner, like the med scanner. It's operating the same method, but you're recalibrating it now to pick up different types of technology. In essence, metallurgy and some types of energy and whatnot. So in more of a, I don't want to say geological, but technical fashion. So you've got you already got the bulk of it out of the way when you created the med scanner. Now you just need to rather than tear the med scanner apart, you're needing the parts in essence to make something new to replicate the new effect that you're wanting to do.
Cool. So yeah, then I finished putting the med scanner itself back, attach that, hand that back to Lightbringer. Excellent. Once I obtain the finances to obtain the new materials, it should not be an issue to create the new device. Thank you for your assistance.
Of course.
Was there anything I could help you with since we're here?
Well, we were throwing around ideas for like a ultraviolet fueled rocket boots or something like that. Has that have you put any more thought into that one?
Without trying to scan any additional technology to base it off of, I have some ideas, especially based on what I saw and what we actually saw in New Prussia.
Right.
It seems that they were using simple vectored thrust as a backpack and with boots that were possibly being controlled by some sort of device on gloves. I wonder if, using your ultraviolet power, we can attach a transducer so that you'll be able to energize and provide energy for a similar type of machine, but in this case using perhaps fewer moving parts, an upgraded version. Have you heard of the science of electroaerodynamics?
Yes.
Excellent.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Then you would know that...
Not her field of expertise, but yeah, I mean...
I read an article about it.
Yeah.
Then you can probably guess that I'm thinking of, instead of using rotors in order to produce the thrust you'd require, instead we would use specific plates and columns of air, allowing charged particles to create ionic wind, providing you with thrust. It should provide a smoother ride, enhanced energy efficiency, and faster maneuverability. If you'd like to attempt to begin creating such a device, I suppose we have the time now.
That's a great idea. We don't have anything pressing.
Excellent. Let's begin. So, yeah, then we see if we can make an electroaerodynamic flight suit.
Go ahead and make another roll. Oh, Brittany is typing.
Let's see. That one wasn't that good. Amazing. 28. Oh, well, it was green, just barely green.
Okay. So same thing with what you rolled previously. You have a working blueprint. This is you don't, however, have any parts for this sort of thing. So this is going to take longer because you're going to have to actually manufacture some of these parts, but again, still doable. That's the whole point behind hyper invention. You'll eventually make something that's doable. It's a matter of, do you have the scraps and parts and everything capable, to do it.
Right. So finished typing up the last piece of blueprint that's on main screen. Excellent. Again, it seems that our resources and finances are too low at the moment to actually fully construct a device, but I believe it will function. It seems that I do need to work on developing what we can do at Quantum Unlimited. Resources are lacking for what we need.
Do we need to work on something commercial then?
Well, it does occur to me that we have not tried to commercialize the med scanner itself. We've created it for you, and you have used it a handful of times in the field. How would you say it's been functioning for you?
Adequately. I think as a diagnostic tool, it's very useful. It's, of course, limited in that, there's only so much care that can be offered in the field. But as a diagnostic tool, it's excellent.
Do you believe that it would have the degree of user-friendliness so that someone without advanced skill could effectively use it for diagnostics, say, in the field or in an emergency room?
Someone without medical skills or someone without technology skills?
I assume that your skills in both are more advanced than the average person. Do you believe an EMT or an emergency doctor would be able to use this effectively and enhance their abilities?
Oh, yes, certainly. Is someone with a degree of medical expertise would definitely be able to handle the device for sure.
Excellent. With that said, since you have been the one who's used the device the most, would you be willing to make that the primary aspect of your department and be made commercial for Quantum Unlimited?
Sure, I can do that.
Very well.
I can take over there.
Meantime, I need to see if Ixion is all right. He may have re-entered the vein. Have you spoken to him recently?
No, not since. It's been a few days, actually.
I'll go see if he's all right. So Hyperion goes throughout the vein looking for Ixion.
Okay. Ixion perhaps is in his room at this point, or in his bunk.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I enter our little makeshift barracks area. See you in your bucket or tub.
Yes.
Ixion, welcome back.
Manifest. It is good to be back.
How are you feeling?
Forlorn, sad. Yet, I am still hopeful that there may be others of my maternal race amongst the stars. That once I get my ship back, I may be able to communicate with them. if anyone was able to escape the planet. And I do believe there were others that were in similar situations, such as I, doing research or otherwise off planet that may still be out there.
That would make sense. I would
It
remain
seems I am
hopeful
not
as
the
well.
only one with family tree issues, though.
Yes, indeed.
One with loss and one with an unfortunate gain.
Socially, our group is becoming more and more complicated, but that's to be expected. If you do need anything with regard to what you've gone through, please let me know, of course.
Absolutely, I
you-
appreciate it.
Have you been doing anything other than reminiscing about what has happened these past few days?
In my time wandering, I've been working on my mimicking skills. I have been able to, at least at a glance, not attracted any attention.
Excellent. Have you
I have
been
not-
working? Oh, go ahead.
I far from honed it, but it is getting better.
Understandable. Have you been working on anything recently with regard to your equipment or technology? It seems that you were attempting to do something with regard to nanotechnology, I believe.
The trip to New Prussia sets things back a bit, but
Look what it won.
sorry about that.
It's okay.
So Jerome, I'd have to ask you on that. Have I made any headway on advancing that technology?
Remind me again what it was you were trying to do. I know it was in regards to nanotechnology, but what were you trying to do specifically?
Suits, and or armament that would be easily concealed or hidden, or that sort of thing. Especially with me.
Oh, and that's right. You're trying to develop the actual nanobite itself. Go ahead and why don't you give me another roll?
Okay.
A
Because
reason check.
like if I were to use my limited phasing ability, like bleed through a crack in the wall, I couldn't take my suit with me.
Right.
Unless the crack was large enough for the suit to get squozen through. But let's see.
Squozen. It's a technical term.
Yep.
Squozen.
Squozen.
It's a thing.
Orange. Ooh, 91. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Okay, so you have made some advancements in making it smaller, and without the loss of articulation. It's not where you want it size wise,
Right.
but you've definitely gotten it shrank by like double.
Cool.
Using obviously technology from Earth.
Mm-hmm. I know that though my technological background in my home planet, we have not had extreme success with this, but the technology that we possess and that I possess on my ship will, maybe not directly, but it will aid me in advancing this technology.
Excellent. If you need any assistance, of course, let me know.
All is welcome. this can benefit all of us.
Absolutely. If you excuse me, I need to practice something. And Hyperion goes into the training room,
Mm-hmm.
and he tries to accomplish a power stunt.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
So you're going to spend 100 karma, and is it a new power stunt, or do you already have one going? I don't think you did you?
Don't have one going yet.
Okay.
So
you need
he's
100 karma to try it, and then just give a roll.
Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna try. Well, here I'll just make the roll first. No point in doing it first. So
If you get a red result, it's successful, and you have a new power stunt.
Okay. It's based on the illusory duplication. Incredible. Okay. Nope, not even close.
Okay, so you get your 100 karma back.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to do mine also, but I can do it anywhere. I'll practice adding sound to illusion.
Okay.
95. I do believe that's a red.
Okay, but you already have a your power stunt, don't you? The first go.
No.
Oh, you don't? Oh, so there you go. So so since you're just sitting at the sitting at a table, you replicate a illusion of the coffee pot, and you add sound of it churning and gurgling as it's creating coffee. And you succeed in replicating the sound that you just heard from the coffee machine.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Progress.
I need to pay for that now. I'm also going, now that we've had a little downtime, I'm also going to buy the first aid talent.
Okay.
Because I was studying for that, but we were like on a plane, and then we were at the airport,
Sure.
the country, and okay, cool.
Anything else from anybody?
So when you're doing the power stunt, you can only do it once per game, right?
No, to advance, yeah, you're only going to do it the once. Because I don't want to, have somebody like luck out and make all the rolls in one game session. That'd be kind of cheesy. It's got to be a progression. But it just means as of this game session, so long as you get a yellow result anytime you're attempting to add sound to your illusions, then you succeed.
And if you get 10 total successions, including your first one, correct?
Yep.
Wait, I thought you needed 3 red, 3 yellow, and then 3 green, and then it's yours.
Oh, that's right. You weren't here for that conversation because we just talked about that last game, but you weren't here for that. So, no, that's not the case. That's what I thought it was when Justin was trying to do it, and then I looked it up in the book. The first test you have to make is red. That's the only time you have to make a red result. That's to, in essence, open the page to your power stunt. That's why it's required to dump 100 karma for it.
Okay.
I'd have to let me look it up here again. You guys might want to write this down so that way I don't have to because I don't have it memorized. So
I had it written down.
I know. So yeah. So update your note. That's not the right book. Let me get the player's guide real quick. There we go. Oh, you know what? Did I think I copied this down and posted it up someplace, if I remember.
That might be in the chat, actually, now I think about
it. What page is it on?
Page 17, player's guide. So if you've never tried it, it is a red result. Try it up to 3 times, it's a yellow result. Try it 3 more times after that, it's green results all the way.
Say that again.
So it's based on the number of times that you've tried it. So if it's brand new, it's a red result. So you're required to dump 100 karma to basically open that up. You have to make 3 results at a yellow. 3 more times after that, green.
So a total of 7
7.
times.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay.
Once you've done it successfully 10 times total, though, you never have to roll for it. You can just do it unless there's duration or something's happening. So that's where the 10 comes into play.
Trying to figure out the best way to notate this.
Well, if nothing else, make sure you put the note Player's Guide page 17. That way, if nothing else, if I have to look it back up again, I can just go directly to the booklet page.
Okay.
All right. Then with that, let's see. Hyperion's now, he knows that mainframe could use better data storage solutions, although he's not going to have a lot of materials then. He's running into that problem. Well, he's still going to see if he can think of maybe creating some sort of like just quantum data storage solution. So it like multiplies the amount of information that mainframe can actually store.
So developing a new hard drive, in essence.
Right.
Okay, sure. Are you attempting to do this physically, like creating a hard drive, or through software?
He's probably going to have to make the the computers in the vein. I'm assuming the vast majority of it is like classical computing, or are they actually already quantum computers? Are they
No. It's classical. It's
Okay.
definitely above what you would normally find for 90s technology, but it's still
Okay.
classical computing.
Okay. Then he'll have to make the hardware first. He's pretty
Okay.
sure. He'll probably then have to make software for it afterwards.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, and if you've got the mechanical engineering talent, I think that bumps it by 1 column. Okay, so amazing. Man, low rolls. 34, still green.
Okay. You have come up with a serviceable plan to create a solid state drive, which would the equivalent to 250 gigabytes of memory at this point, which is insane for 90s technology.
Right. Cool. Okay. I take it I still need the materials or whatnot. I just
Correct.
don't have that. Okay.
Yes. This, however, given the fact it's not such a huge jump, it's not like a super science sort of thing. Provided you get, some, like if you get your hands on, repurposing some hard drives and some physical electrical parts and whatnot, you could put this together no problem.
Good. Okay. Would Mark have the finances right now or whatnot to actually go out and get that to start working on it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and make a resource roll.
Oh yeah. Resource. Where'd that go? Okay, excellent. Yeesh. Don't think that's going to work. 36 on an excellent. Nah, just
nope.
barely missed. What result?
Okay. Yeah. So at this point, you do not have the. Well, I should say you have the funds available, because in essence, what you're doing is just kind of buying junk, or just parts, used parts or whatnot. However, it will tie up your resources in an uncomfortable way if you were to do that. But in doing so, it would provide you with some of the parts that you need for your tech scanner as well.
Okay. Worth it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I go ahead and let the other two know that I'll be off to acquire some materials to work on the tech scanner and upgrading mainframe.
Okay.
And take off.
Okay.
Great.
So you go into the office to go make that happen and set up the orders and whatnot, so that way it looks like it's on the board and going to the business as opposed to somewhere out in the middle of nowhere and looking super sketchy.
Right.
Ixion, what are you doing at this point? Ixion is muted.
As I was saying, uh, probably at this point, trying to work with the nanotech, like really trying to focus on that, do that, look and see how it, interacts and functions the way that, trying to get it to function. And then also kind of thinking at it like, I could, once this is advanced, I could start using this towards genetics.
Okay.
Because that was one of my things to where I wanted to somewhat isolate our father's genome.
Right. That I remember. Yes. So yeah. Okay. So you're kind of, now that you've worked on a what you believe to be a working model half the size of what you had before, you're going about and trying to or not repurpose, but looking at it from other angles at this point. So that's fine. So we'll do that.
Probably doing stuff with the genetics itself anyway. Probably looking and seeing. It's easy enough for me to get a sample of myself, but with anyone else, I haven't acquired that as per se.
Right. Okay.
Unless somebody's like hair happens to be randomly there in the room or something like that. But
ew. I would like to think it's you, Sweep.
Right. Absorb. I don't know. How do I gain sustenance? I think we established that it's like I kind of absorb from everything.
Yeah, you just absorb.
I feed through osmosis.
Okay. So Lightbringer. You get a radio message.
Like on my comms?
Uh-huh. There's a chime that comes in. Lieutenant Sagan calling Lightbringer.
Lightbringer here. Proceed.
I am currently tailing an employee from Quantum Unlimited, and we have run into a traffic jam. Wanting to know how you would like to proceed.
For what reason are you tailing this individual?
Security concerns for the company.
And he is also jammed in traffic?
Correct. The reason for the traffic jam is there is an individual wielding cold-based powers currently caught up with your local constabularies. I think he was attempting to rob a bank. How would you like me to proceed? Should I intervene?
Please hold.
Hold, please.
Cue elevator music.
Na 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 na. Got Kenny G playing in the background.
And I'm going to get on the other line
Okay.
and contact the group and say, Sagan says she's tailing somebody from the company for some security suspicions, but there's a traffic jam due to some superpowered being having robbed a bank nearby. Would we like her to intervene? Would we like to intervene?
This is our city, and this is our job. We need to intervene.
I figured better us than her. Do we want her to join us?
We need her to make sure that any individuals are safe until we get there to apprehend the SPB and assist any police forces on the ground.
So you'd like her in a support role only?
Correct.
Okay.
Does she have powers out of character?
Did you not see her? Were you gone that day?
Ixion was gone that day too. So Ixion
Yeah.
has never met Lieutenant Sagan.
Yeah.
We'll fill you in when later. Well, I guess I could just say it. She has a. She's from New Prussia. She is the bodyguard that my grandfather sent, and she's a member of the army with plasma-based powers.
She's loyal to him.
Yes. But she is quite handy.
Noted.
We can work through that later.
What powers does this assailant have?
Cold
Have you heard
Breeze
anything?
is all she
Interesting.
told me. Do you remember us dealing with anyone cold-based?
Other than myself, I don't recall.
All right,
So I
so
fear-
shall we convene downtown?
We shall.
I will find out the address and forward it. And by forward it, I mean tell you it in a
Okay.
moment.
So you get back on the line with Lieutenant Sagan.
Enter it in Google Maps.
Right.
Brittany?
Oh, yes. we're,
Okay.
we're switching lines again. Sorry, I
Okay.
wasn't sure if we were playing through or you were just moving on.
Yeah, no. She and so you come back in the line and you hear her yell out, "No, you need to move out of the way."
Where are you?
So she gives
What are your coordinates?
she gives you the street corner. I'm currently watching two of your, I believe you call them hoplites, fail tremendously. Is this what passes for security in the United States?
Yeah, that's a topic for another time. We will be there momentarily. If you could focus on safekeeping passersby, we'll be there soon.
Copy that.
And then I'll relay the location to my brothers,
Okay.
and we'll get my uniform on.
All right. So here's the question. Currently, Angler is not here.
Oh, how are we going to get there?
And
Our transporters aren't here.
and the transport is not here either.
What happened to that fancy jet? Did Meredith still take off with it?
Yeah, that's how Meredith got here.
I thought she was going to share. All right. Well, I mean, I can drive us as close as we can get.
Can
We roll up in a taxi.
Taxi! Follow that
Yellow
crime.
cab.
Follow that
we're the
crime.
budgeteers?
Yeah, I know.
It's like Deadpool.
All for one for the price of three. The budgeteers.
Next thing you know, we got the taxi driver running next to us.
It's unlikely that it'll work, but can I try for a different type of power stunt that would involve trying to fly?
Oh, okay. How are you defining this power stunt?
So it'd be based off his. Let's see, I have a whole list. I have this ready, and it's a list here. Based off illusory duplication, he'd call it quantum lock propulsion, where he makes a bunch of different copies over himself, and he energizes them such that, like, he kind of exists within his own magnetic field that he can project around and just fly wherever he wants to.
Okay.
Magneto. He's essentially doing it like technologically Magneto. How Magneto flies.
Well, Magneto actually goes against the poles
Yeah.
because he's magnetism. So,
yeah.
But okay, I'll allow that. Spend 100 karma. Pray for a red result.
Dun, 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 dun. We can do. Nope, not even close.
Okay.
All right.
So you're quickly refunded your karma.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. We should approach with our own vehicles, but stop before we actually make it to that location. It sounds as
if there's a traffic jam, I'm more concerned about getting us close enough in general. We'll just have to see how far we can get.
Mainframe, are you able to access the traffic cameras in the area that's been described thus far?
So it chirps. Mainframe seeking information. Then it chimes back negative. There are no mainframe cannot detect that there are any traffic cameras within that region.
Understood.
We need a helicopter.
We do need a conveyance. I agree.
You do have
With
one
that
other
said-
option available to you.
What option is that?
Contacting Ms. McCall and asking for the jet.
Well, I mean, you could do that, but she's a ways away. Or your employers.
Wouldn't they just as well have their own boots on the ground?
You would know that's not how that works. They're a private contractor, so they don't go around heroing like that.
Oh.
So they like work for companies or agencies and things like that to provide security.
They're mercenaries, not adventurers.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Although mercenary being kind of a bad term, they are a corporate entity that that
They're contractors.
yes, there
not
you go.
adventurers.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
How would we do that?
I go ahead and get on using, because we each still have an Aegis communicator.
Yep.
So I use that and say, appear on Aegis.
Okay, so there's a little chime. Aegis here, Nene speaking.
Nene, this is Hyperion. Have you heard of what's happening at the street corner?
Negative. Should I?
There is an SPB on the ground using ice-based powers. We have information that they are engaged with hoplite forces. Legacy can be available, but we have no immediate conveyance to get there, and it seems that there's a large traffic jam in the area as well. Would you have any way to provide us transport?
We could, but we haven't been contracted for that. Hang on. Hold, please. No.
All the hold music is the same.
Kind of going on in the background.
Yeah.
And she says, okay, I can have a transport available in 5. You just need to give a location where you're going to be picked up at.
Excellent. And can I give her like a locale that's like away from our place?
You guys know relative that, because you guys go back and forth frequently, like where would probably be safe for something like this to be picked up at. Somewhere near the vein, but obviously not the vein directly.
Okay. Yep. I go ahead
The
and
local
give her
quick
that
stop.
info then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
literally.
fine. So, there was an abandoned gas station that wasn't far from the veins location, so you could just say there.
Perfect.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that'll work.
All right. So she says, "All right, I will have somebody there in 5."
Thank you.
All right, let's hoof it.
When they ask, you're on the job. I'm only
Yes,
dispatching
understood.
for the job, and you can almost like visualize she's like looking around to maybe other dispatchers that were like near her, asking what they were doing.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Nene.
Totem pole out.
Go ahead and suit up.
It's the unofficial nickname for the Aegis Tower.
Totem pole. Got it. Suit up and head out to the rendezvous.
Okay, so you get there. I mean, as you guys are pulling up, in a car, presumably at this point, you can see it like getting, coming into touchdown. The VTOL, kind of kicking up dirt everywhere, and they kick down a door real fast, and there's two men, in the back, motioning you guys on. And they're like, I thought you guys had a transport.
It's in the shop.
Oh, all right. Who am I to question? All right, splash down in 3. Get yourselves strapped in.
Thank you.
Get in, strap in.
Okay. And as you guys are flying over Lightbringer, you get another message come through. Sagan to Lightbringer.
Go ahead, Sagan.
I have 2 hoplite popsicles that are in need of assistance. I'm supposed to be saving the civilians. Are you inbound?
We are en route.
All right. Be warned. There's another SPB on site who's currently engaging him.
Please describe.
Black and white uniform. I don't recognize him. He's talking a lot though. Very unprofessional. He seems to be tying him up, kind of keeping him occupied, but it doesn't look like there's anybody that's present to detain him because I've been ordered to take care of the civilians.
Thank you.
Affirmative.
Lightbringer out.
Okay. And you guys are like getting close to basically the ship can't get on the streets. It's too congested and not wide enough for the VTOL to land. So they basically hover above one of the buildings. It's about like 3 stories, so that you could use a fire escape or jump down, depending upon what you have. And they say the pilot lets you know this is as close as we can get you. We'll stay in the area. Just radio us. Radio us when you need pickup.
Excellent. Will
And
do.
as you guys are touching down, you can hear sirens and whatnot in the background, but not like, the regular cops are very equipped to deal with this sort of thing.
Right. How high up are we off the ground?
3 stories.
Okay. And do we have a vantage point where we can look over and see exactly what's going on in the battle?
100%. So you can see
What's-
that 2 hoplite units and their support van was in the area. It looked like they tried to flank this individual, but I mean they're fully encased in ice.
Okay.
The vehicles are?
The suits,
hoplites.
the suits as well as the vehicle, which means they could be lacking oxygen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I should probably do some first aid check on those two.
And I will say, so hold on one second while we are doing that.
Cold shaping. I'm ripping the ice away from. If I see that,
Okay.
good call.
Give me
Nice.
uno momento. Oops, is that the right? No, that's the right one. That is not the one I wanted. Here we go. Pull this up and I don't know why I didn't think about this, but I'm thinking about it now. So let's go. Where is it at? Oh my goodness, I did not set this up like I should have. I apologize, folks, for anybody who's watching. I usually have it more together.
I'm very curious.
Hold, please.
Yeah, exactly. Hold, please.
yes.
That's what I did. Okay. That was Tedum. Okay. Add files. 1 second. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna update the scrolling picture, or the scrolling picture that I've got there in the middle to show the 2 adversaries. Well, not the adversaries, but the 2 SPBs that are currently involved.
There's one.
No, I haven't updated it yet.
Oh.
Sagan, however, is the second one there.
Which one? The blue one?
The one that's mostly blue is Meredith.
The one, oh wait,
Oh, okay.
that's Meredith?
Yes.
The blue one's Meredith. The colored one is.
Does she have short hair?
Yes, Meredith has short hair.
Oh. I didn't realize.
And where is he at? There we go. Perfect. Now hopefully this will show up correctly. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with that then. So done. That works. Okay, so bring the screen on over. There we go. So you're going to see 2 new ones in there. It's not quite lined up well. Oh well, I'll deal with that later. The one that's in black and white and look like he's jumping, that's the one that seems to be trying to occupy the other guy. The other one, he's kind of standing, bald head, got like some tattoos, but he also has kind of discolored skin, as well as kind of like a black kind of trench coat sort of look to him. Let's see. Why is it showing up like that? Well, I'll deal with that later. So that is who you have there. The one who is bald with the tattoos and kind of like the some sort of like rocky ice features is the one that's throwing around ice-based powers and freezing things up. He's got several bags of cash at his feet that have been iced up. The other individual is kind of is keeping him busy and talking to him. Seems to be far more agile and quick, and is getting some shots in. As you can see, like he uses kind of like this harness, sort of not quite like rope, but it does operate kind of like a rope or a tether of some kind. And he like whips it out, wraps around the guy's arm at one point, and he says,
Get over here.
he pulls the ice guy closer to him, and he says, he's like, hey, chill out, and snaps him with a kick sort of thing, and the guy throws some ice and strikes the vehicle nearby, and he's like, man, you got to be faster than that. I thought you were one of those top-notch villains. And he bounds, quickly, out of the way and trying to keep him occupied and focused on him rather than trying to get away. So let's go ahead and roll D10s for initiative.
Right.
4.
Also 4.
Do we add anything to?
I'm on 40s. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, I have danger sense,
you do.
so I have 40 seconds advance warning. What does that count as far as rounds?
What that means is that if there's no combat round or whatnot, if combat hasn't been declared yet, you're probably going to get advanced warning if something's
Okay.
coming at you, just like Spidey sense.
If I do it, like in initiative, does it have any effect?
No, it does not have any effect for initiative.
Okay.
It does help for defense, however.
All right. I got a 2.
Yeah, okay. I can see why you were trying to push that.
Well-
Okay.
Do we add anything to that,
No.
or is it just straight?
Yeah, just straight
Straight.
D10. Yeah.
Sorry, I always forget how this game works.
You're fine. We haven't had many combats, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you saw. It's currently going on. So at this point, that was the top of the round. We're now at 4. Derek, you're attempting to focus on one of them to rip ice away. So you have 2 people in suits, and you have the vehicle that they came in.
I don't care about the vehicle. The vehicle can be fixed. I'm like head down, like trying to effectively, like they're like encapsulated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to like.
So you're focusing on one of the guys in suits. So go ahead and give me a powers check.
88.
Oh, good lord.
Nice.
Which is
That's at least
a
yellow.
yellow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just
yellow.
without even looking, that's at least yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you focus on that guy, and that ice just melts away. Like it, by the top of the round, he's going to be completely unencased. Dale.
Okay.
Before you ask or before you say anything, what is your strength?
My strength.
You have like an IN40, don't you?
Yes, actually.
Okay, you can drop down from this height, and it's not going to affect you at all.
Cool. I was just about to ask. Yeah. So, would I be able to drop down and like land kind of like actually next to the individuals who are fighting right now?
You could jump if you wanted to. You don't have the power stunt for it, but your sheer force of strength would give you enough distance to try it. You're going to need to make an agility check, however.
Superhero landing.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad on the knees. Agility is not his strong suit.
That's why you need my endurance. Who cares?
Yeah. So
I can't jump very
if
far,
he
but-
just kind of jumps off and lands without like doing an agile thing, would he then have the ability to like kind of charge in, or would he have to do that like next turn?
You could charge in, but that would be your action at that point, jumping down to engage.
Okay.
Because you guys aren't directly over the fight. You're like a building away.
Okay. Yeah, he's being held off right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just play it safe. I'm just gonna drop down, not do like a big leap or anything.
Okay, so drop down from the building and then move to engage. No problem.
Yeah.
Stick the landing and in you go. That leaves Lightbringer.
I am going to attempt to unfreeze the other hoplite by using a UV blast to try and melt the ice.
Okay.
Not like damage level, but like
It's still going to be it's still in essence damage, but you're trying to be careful about how you shoot. So give me an agility check.
okay,
Pew, pew.
agility or psyche.
It's going to be agility.
33 on remarkable. That's a white.
Okay.
Barely.
So you fire, you strike the ice and break a little bit of a chunk off, but not at the effectiveness that you were looking for.
Okay.
The damage to the ice was negligible.
Okay.
Since you were topside, actually, your danger sense does go off. Somebody near you is in danger, and you're picking it up from the truck.
From the hoplite truck?
Yep.
Okay. But I can't do anything about that yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so top of the round. So the guy who's flinging out the cold turns around and he's like, I've had enough of your mouth, and flings some icicles that form like straight out of the air at him. And they go whipping across. He does kind of like a backflip sort of thing to get out of the way and kicks the last one with his foot. Because as you can tell from the way he flung it, it was in danger of striking some of the people who were still in the cars, like ducking or trying to stay out of the way. So one of them kind of goes up in the air and flying away. The other two strike the building behind it and shatter against the brick wall. And he's like, hey, Cold Chill, what are you doing here? There's innocents. And he's like, I don't care about them. It's like, all right, that's it. And he's like, freeze. And he holds out his hand like this, like he's about ready to fire something. He's like, and so he looks at, he's like, really, again with the cold jokes. And as he does that, you see a flash happen from his glove. And at that point, the Cold Chill holds his hands because he was blinded. It was like it wasn't actually any sort of beam attack. It was like a big flash, like from a really high powered camera. Just, and he's like, ah!
He flashed him.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back down to you guys, Derek.
Do it again to the other guy.
Okay, go ahead and give me another powers check for your cold.
Got my contacts in. I have to like lean back. 48.
Okay, 48.
That actually puts me just in the green.
Okay, this guy is about halfway unfrozen. The guy you unfroze actually crumpled to the ground and is like trying to get back up. Sounds like he's probably trying to regain his breath. This guy you actually clear enough because you were starting from head down to down to toes. So he's obviously not asphyxiating, but he is currently stuck. You haven't got him completely out of the ice yet. Dale.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. So that's happened to him. So I try to charge in so that I can grab the cold dude to try to force him face down to the ground.
Okay. So that's going to be a fighting check. Go ahead and give me a fighting roll. He is obviously down because he is blinded.
Yeah. I remember. Is there something we do with that, like to determine like how many actions or like fighting?
What's your
Or
current
something?
fighting ranking at?
It is at remarkable.
Okay. If you would like to attempt to make more than one action, you need to give me a roll for your fighting first. Let me see what that is at. I think it's a. I want to say it's at least a green result. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Get the player's guide back open again. That's another one. I used to have that. I know it at. I remember at Remarkable 30. You can make. Oops. You can make multiple attacks.
Be right back.
No problem. You can make two. I just don't remember. Let's see, where'd that go?
That makes more sense because I have a note next to my fighting remarkable 30 that says roll for 2 actions, and wasn't sure what that meant.
That's exactly what that meant. And then at
'Cause-
AM50, you can take up to possibly 3,
Ooh.
which is one of the reasons why Captain America is such a hoss.
Right.
Let's see, defensive actions. Okay, I'll look that up later, but I think it's at least a green result. So give me a check first to see if you can make. Oh, here we go. Here's multiple attacks. Yeah, so for you, since it's at a remarkable, you need to hit at least a green result. And if you're going to take 2 attacks, each multiple attack is down 1 column shift to hit. Just means you get more than 1.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll still try for that.
But to at least make it, you have to make a green result first.
Right. 47, which is green.
Okay, so you'll be able to make 2 attacks. So you're down 1 column shift for this, but you can try and pop off 2. So your first one, obviously, you're flying in to try and tackle this guy and bring him down to the ground. So go ahead and make your check.
All right. Is that also based on fighting?
Yes, but this will be at an EX20 for purposes of striking.
Got it. 79. That is a yellow result.
Yowzer. Okay, that's gonna hurt. Hold on one second. He's gonna need to make an endurance check. That is against your endurance. So your endurance is also a 40?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let me give him a check real fast. Ooh, ouch. Okay, so that was a blunt attack. That is the effectiveness of a slam. So yeah, you drive him down into the ground hard. In fact, you actually crater the street a little bit. So just boom, slam him down with some authority. And you've got a hold of him at this point. So now you are your next will be a grapple attack since you have a hold of him at an EX20.
Okay. Yeah, that is a 60, which is a green.
Ooh, ouch. And so what are you attempting to do to grapple him?
Bringing his hands like behind his back so that his hands are like against each other, because he's been like filling in this stuff from his hands, right? Like,
Okay.
As far as like yeah.
Okay. So so he's kind of I mean, he's still a little blinded, but he's currently a little dazed from you slamming him down, pretty hard to the ground. And at that point, the guy who had been trying to keep him occupied, yells out and he laughs. He's like, "Ha ha! Calvary's here. How do you like them apples, Bunky?" Britt.
I'm going to say into my comm, Sagan, check the truck, and then I'm going to attempt to make my way down off the building down to the ground.
Okay.
Agility-ish,
Okay, and you have acrobats, so
Yes.
you will be up a column shift to your agility as you do so with style.
And I rolled an 11, so
Scratch that.
Yeah, like take back that style thing.
not so much.
Yeah, not so much style. Okay, so you kind of do your thing and dive off. Your foot hits the fire escape, and you end up falling straight down to the ground ungracefully. Thankfully, the impact is absorbed by your uniform. So really, it's just the look. It's your pride that's hurt.
And Stegan's gonna be like, man, I got my work cut out for me.
Actually, you end up hearing the sound of superheated air. You basically hear this, and a discharge of plasma comes and strikes the van. Sends the van over to its side. Like teetering a bit, which broke it up because it was frozen completely to the ground. And as it hits the ground, like the ice is breaking off of it, in like large chunks, sort of thing. And you could see her coming back from an alleyway.
Okay, I didn't mean for her to attack the van. I thought maybe there was someone in danger in it. But we'll see.
Maybe that specifically was what your danger sense was for.
Yeah, if it was frozen, if someone was frozen inside.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see how that shakes out.
It's hard to say right now because your danger sense is still sort of tingling with cold chill here as well. So
Okay.
top of the round. Okay. So Dale, you've got a hold of cold chill.
Yeah.
At this point, and keeping him pinned. He ends up making ice spikes form out from the ground all around you. You can either attempt to take it and hold him in place, or you can try and roll with him, but quite possibly lose the hold.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. So boom! So the ice spikes rip upward for a total of 40 physical damage.
Ow!
I have my let's see here.
He's the most armored of you guys, so that's probably not going to do a whole lot to him. It's going to hurt some.
Yeah, I've got my resistance to physical attack, and I'm wearing the armor, so I think that gives me a total of EX20.
I think we're pretty much on the same par though. He and I though.
So
collectively.
So if that's your total, then you're obviously taking 20 points of damage. So it does rip through some, but your body armor, your collective armor that you've got, absorbs most of it. Give me a fighting check to continue holding him.
Right. 37 on remarkable green.
Okay, so you hold on to him, and bring that back in as he does, and the guy comes running in, and he's like, "Bad, Snowball, bad!" And he ends up soccer kicking him right to the head because you're holding him in place. He's like, "Wham!"
Yeah.
And then comes Pele.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's, because Pele's still a thing right about now. So he's like, and Pele shoots and he scores. And Place kicks him, and of course you see a little bit of blood come flying off of him with that strike, and he's cursing, he's cursing under his breath, and as you've got him pinned down, he spins back around with his agility, and right as he's getting ready to say something, he's like, "Oh no, there are kids present," and drives a punch down onto the top of his head just to add insult to injury.
This guy must be a bard.
He's like, "Stay down."
Yeah.
and at that point, he wrapped him in between the impact that you drove him down and that final like two strikes that he hit him with. He's like buckles. Now the ice is still obviously all around, but you can feel him go limp.
Okay. And I look up to the guy and say, "Thank you for that. Are you able to obtain a collar from one of the hoplites so we can attach it to him?"
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll get that. You just sit tight. And so he like goes bounding off real quick to the one hoplite that was out of the ice completely, not the one that you're like. I'm not even gonna make you roll. You're finishing the melt at this point. So he grabs one from him real quick and comes running back on over. So at this point, we're out of combat.
Is there somebody else in the? So I finished melting both guys, right?
Yeah.
Is there
Since you
is
pointed
there anybody else?
Since you pointed the alert to Sagan, Brittany, you see that she's pulling. She's starting to pull out one of the drivers from the front seat.
Do I see that too? I assume.
Yeah.
Does it look like he's injured, or does it look like
probably from the cold? Yes. So it suddenly got cold and encased in ice.
Oh, like totally encased in ice?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the tires.
Oh no! Completely encased in ice.
Oh.
That's
okay.
why when she shot it, like huge chunks were shearing off and falling and hitting the ground.
Yeah, that's not what I thought was happening.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah.
That's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pick myself up and go do. I guess I'll do a first aid check on the dude.
Okay, so as you come up, she runs off.
Okay.
She's not in an outfit. She doesn't have a disguise.
Oh, right. She's in plain clothes.
Yeah, so she's getting out. And so at that point, the guy comes over and he slaps the manacle on Cold Chill. At that point, go ahead and make your roll, Brittany.
Ooh, 82, and that would be that's on reason, right?
That is, yes.
Plus my medical scanner. Monstrous. It is
a lot.
A yellow still.
Really,
but,
really high.
With the first aid talent, it says first aid talent grants the character an immediate halt to endurance rank loss, the recovery of 1 rank immediately, 1 use only per situation, and can stabilize a dying character at shift 0 health up to 5 rounds after they reach that level.
Nice. So you are administering CPR at this point because they are, and you're helping free the other driver, and you're giving them CPR. So you are taking care of the officers that were in the hoplite van. Ixion, you are tending to the hoplites at this point that were They look like they're recovering. They probably didn't take the brunt of it, like maybe their suits took most of it, but their biggest problem was the lack of oxygen. So getting them out of that, you're tending to them. He, slapped the cuff on him at that point, the unconscious, Cold Chill. And he's like, looking around real quick, making sure that, everything else is, safe. And he's like, it looks like you brought friends.
Correct. We're the Legacy. Who might you be?
Oh, I'm just your friendly neighborhood Wraith.
Wraith. Well, excellent job keeping him at bay.
No, thanks for the assist. It's a team job all the way around. But if you don't mind me, I'm going to bug out before the press gets here.
Very well. Farewell.
Yeah, so he bounds off real quick. You can see he's, even though he's bounding off quickly, he's like taking a second glance down at the scene, probably to make sure that there's like nobody else caught in like crossfire or something before he clears a jump, on the building and quickly scales away from like a cable launcher and just swinging away.
Do I have a minute before the people start convening?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a calm before any sort of storm or whatnot. Like people are starting to slowly peak up, a little bit to make sure everything's okay, and you're stabilizing the two officers at this point.
I thought I might try and bolster the UV in the area to melt the ice, so it's safer for people to walk.
Don't even worry about it. I can take care of that.
You got it? All right. Okay, then I'll focus on the first aid stuff.
Okay. 1 second. Dang it. There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. Do. Okay, so at that point, you can see a helicopter starting to come in as you guys are tending to the injured, making sure that the people, for the most part, it looks like the hoplites probably responded with enough time that they distracted him enough that doesn't look like anybody was harmed, with the exception of maybe some fender bender issues. For when the issue first happened, and then when Wraith got here, he kept them occupied just long enough for you guys, and then whatever Sagan did. Sagan probably did something behind the scenes, but there's no idea, what's happening. But you can see that there's a woman setting up with a camera right now with a microphone.
I go ahead and Carrie, are the hoplites like have at least one or two of them like kind of come to, like they're cognizant and stuff? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I go ahead and carry a cold chill over. One SPB apprehended. Are you able to transport him into a facility or jail?
Yeah, he kind of like looks around real quick and looks at the vehicle, and he says, "Yeah, no, we've got this one." And that they hoist him up, ungracefully, sort of thing, and accidentally, knock him into a car or two on their way there. They're clearly mad, that they got they got showed up not only by other SPBs, but that they got frozen into copsicles.
Right.
And immediately
it's not a contest.
There's immediately a microphone like right in your face, Hyperion, from the reporter, and she's like, Autumn Wright, Autumn Wright, news reporter. She says, "Am I to understand that you are the Legacy? We've only seen you like once or twice before."
That is correct. I'm the leader of the Legacy. Myself and Hyperion. With me are Lightbringer and Xenofreeze.
She
and
says,
I point to them as I say.
"So, what do you make of this whole mess? This was looks like a robbery gone wrong by Cold Chill."
Apparently, yes. We managed to arrive with some aid from another individual, and the hoplites also managed to keep them at bay. However, it seems that they did not have the equipment or training needed to deal with the powerful SPB. Fortunately, we managed to apprehend him.
Oh, and so now that we've seen you here a couple of times here in Strongford, does this mean that you're the local heroes?
That is our goal. Strongford is where we protect. It is our home.
Does the Legacy mean anything, or is it, or are you just a collection of deviants that find shelter under a similar name, or other SPBs?
I will say that we are SPBs, each of us, who honor a legacy of superheroism that's been passed down for generations. We plan to continue this and grow, and to ensure that Strongford and surrounding area are safe from supervillainy.
Oh, so do you have ties to any of the famous World War II heroes? A legacy to one of the more famous heroes that have come before?
I look to let's see. I look to Lightbringer, and I do like one of these things. Doing this towards you.
Oh, I know what that symbol means. I'm gonna try and
Suddenly, Lightbringer's like, I got that reference.
Understood that reference.
because I missed that one time in our vampire game, and it was really funny. Okay, I'm gonna try and read her mind and see what she's expecting us to say. And that's a 69 on
Nice.
remarkable.
That's green. No.
That's green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, it's yellow. It's
Okay.
yellow.
Yep. So it looks like
Oh.
she's I mean, of course, it's a question on the spot. She's almost hoping that she's going to break a story on like, a new group of heroes tied to, some famous superhero that may have retired or hung up their tights a long time ago. And she's immediately, of course, thinking of like American Sentinel, and some of the other legacy heroes you guys might have heard of, and the Shield.
Is now the time? Is it now? Are we doing this? Can I shift my telepathy to Mark?
Sure,
Do I have to roll?
I take it. Mark isn't resisting.
No.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll.
She's hoping to break a story. Maybe tell her that we're trying to take up where Electrum left off. I wouldn't bring in the lineage though.
Excellent idea. Thank you. I think, obviously.
Okay.
Then verbally I say, to be honest with you, Autumn, we are trying to uphold the legacy of one who was left us suddenly, the greatest superhero of all time, Electrum.
Okay, so she turns around to the camera and she says, "And there you have it, another super group that have taken up the mantle where Electrum has left off. Truly inspiring work here today, people. Back to you, Chuck." And then, of course, the light goes off on the camera, and she says, "Great work today. You guys did an amazing job with Cold Chill. Keep it up."
Thank you, ma'am.
You said another? Are there other groups that are attributing themselves to Electrum?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it pops up in the media, fairly often. I don't know how sincere they are. I don't know if they're just trying to grab PR. It's usually on the East Coast, though.
East Coast, really.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of them, the Justice Legion.
Well, we do know them, do we?
We have. Interesting. Have you been to the East Coast recently, or
And she
do
says,
you
"Oh
typically
no.
report here?"
I'm a beat reporter here."
You got here an excellent time, and you've done excellent reporting today. Thank you for that.
I was lucky. I was in the area.
Well, as were we. And then I look to the other two. We'll need to make sure that all the civilians are taken care of. Have all those who were encased in ice been revived?
Shall we go check out the bank?
Agreed.
Okay, so you guys go in the inside of the bank. There's remains of ice, but it looks like the people weren't really frozen over, more like frozen in place. And by the time you're getting in there, people have like chiseled away and gotten out, and whatnot. So, I mean, there's obviously physical damage to the place, and to like the vault, but not to, it doesn't look like anybody else is like hurt or having problems.
Gotcha.
Okay. Then it looks like we're not needed here after all.
And in fact, as you were walking in, some paramedics are coming around and starting to check in on people.
Okay, excellent. It would appear our work here is done. We should head back to the transport on top of the building. So, head to the fire escape.
Yep.
Climb up.
I take it you call the
Up the
transport then, let them know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, okay.
that.
All right, so they come, flying back around, and kick open the doors and try to get low enough so you guys don't have to, struggle to get into the craft.
Great, excellent. Yeah, get in and take off.
Okay, and are you having them drop you back off at the place they picked you up at?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and they end up doing that.
We'll say, give our regards to Nene when you get back.
Roger that. Okay, and go ahead and bump your popularity by 10.
Yeah.
Lost a little bit of karma for the property damage, but that unfortunately tends to happen. Overall, your net bonus for the karma for spotting and saving the people who have been attacked, as well as helping to bring down Cold Chill, is 55.
Yes.
So,
Or I should say, no, 55, and then plus 10 for person that, for everybody you save, so that would be 4, so that's 95.
that's how much karma?
Yes.
So how do we add 10 to our popularity? Because I have like TY9.
Yeah, you're adding 10 to it directly, so it's going to be a 19. So it would be that would
Oh,
fall
okay.
that would fall technically under EX20.
Oh, okay. So now it's EX20
Yeah.
or EX19. Do we keep that one close to the same score then, or
Yeah.
to the actual?
That one's going to fluctuate. Yeah, that's going to be strictly point based.
Okay, so it's EX19 then.
Technically, yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, what's EX? Oh, never mind.
And in fact,
Ooh.
usually when I do like popularity and whatnot, I don't even tell people to put down the named rank to it because it fluctuates enough. I just say just put the
Right.
number down. Well, we can figure it out from there. But also
okay.
make sure that all your powers and abilities all reflect the ranks that they should be, not the like half-C numbers or whatnot that we had before. So if it's excellent, it should be 20. If it's typical, it should be 6. If it's remarkable, it should be 30, so on and so forth.
Right. You had said those were not worried about the half gains or anything
Right.
else like that.
Nope, we're not. We're not going
It's
to do
just
that.
whatever the standard number is for that rank.
But yeah, make sure your powers reflect that as well.
Yep.
I believe I updated that already. All right.
And then Lightbringer, you get a communication coming through. Sagan to Lightbringer.
Sagan, go on. Go ahead.
I'm awaiting orders. It's a traffic jam.
Have you lost sight of your person of interest?
No, they're still stuck in traffic. Should I continue to follow once the traffic has subsided?
I'm going to look to Mark.
Yes, because of the inherent danger that the Senian spy has alerted us to with his activities, we need to make sure that Sagan can protect as many of them as possible. We still do need to find a superior way to make sure that they're all secure.
Roger that. I will relay that to Sagan.
Okay.
Please continue your operation.
Roger that.
Lightbringer out. She's living at my place, right?
No.
Where is she based now?
Somewhere in town.
Okay.
If you ask, she'll provide you with that information, obviously.
And she's been mostly spending her time at Quantum.
For right now, because it's kind of been her task, she's been watching Quantum for you.
Okay. Finding plants.
Or making sure there aren't any more, yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Excellent job, team.
As you guys are getting back to the vein, you can see that you guys made the news. That's how you got the
Popularity.
the popular. And in fact, you would have had a higher popularity boost, but the show was prompted thereafter by a reaming from Tony Pope. From hardcore. But it's pretty typical. It seems like he goes after most SPBs, unless he has some sort of vested interest in them, like say the Justice Legion. He seems to hold them up in like a high regard, but everybody else are just like schlubs and trying to live up to false standards, and so he runs them through the coals.
Gotcha. We can't please everyone, it seems.
Right. All right, back to, I guess we're hoofing it back to the vein, huh?
We had our car at the abandoned gas station.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're-
presumably you guys are already back at the vein at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
With that said, we do need to keep track of if we can locate where Captain Murder and his associates might be, the remaining amount of remnants that the Senian spy alerted us to. Let's see. Mainframe, have you made any headway with locating any transmissions in South America with regard to the remnants, SPBs, or Captain Murder?
Details are currently beyond mainframe's current processing power. Collecting data to collate later.
Understood. There will be many upgrades I need to make to the entire facility. Well, again,
There's always room for advancement.
that is true. Again, well done, everyone. We did good work today. This also lets us know that when we are without our transportation and without teleportation or flight, we should also work on finding some sort of mechanical means of conveyance. I don't believe we can rely on Nene to bail us out when we need it. Any ideas?
I've thought it would be directly dependent on what manner of manipulation I could. I may be able to do something for myself that could be more expedient than hoofing it.
Anything is more expedient than hoofing it.
And so while we're outside, since we're probably talking about this as we're like coming in or something like that.
Sure.
I'm gonna spend 100. Iceman slide, man. Trying it.
Okay.
Cool.
Like that's the way he got around.
That's
I mean,
exactly the way he got around. Yep. Still gets around.
he was
as a matter of fact.
fast.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
fast. So 87?
That's not going to be a red result.
No. It is. It's a solid yellow, but
Yeah.
no.
Solid yellow, but not enough. So you got a great idea. This will definitely be something you're going to want to practice in the danger room, specifically on that course that Angler made for his flight,
Oh, yeah.
because he did it for
So it's
specifically
probably
for
something I
maneuverability.
probably was able to get up on it and be like, and I was like,
Oh, you weren't able to get it up at all. You were able to ice the floor, and you're like, okay, well, I've got the concept of sliding. That I need it to go like, up and around and move, and that wasn't enough.
I just made
made a
I just
slick.
made it. I just made a quick skating rink.
Basically, yeah. You're like, anybody for hockey?
Yeah.
Then there's a call that comes in shortly after you guys come back into the vein.
Go ahead and answer it.
Okay. So Hyperion, it's Meredith.
Ms. McCall, excellent timing.
I just caught you all on television. Good job. That
you.
actually reminded me of something I was meaning to mention when I was last there. Have you thought about investors to your company?
I had been thinking about it. At the same time, I haven't pursued that as of yet because that would, of course, mean possibly less control over what we could do, depending on what the investors would want in return, beyond simply profit.
Good point. There may be somebody you might want to take a look at, though.
Who would that be?
His name is Donovan Alexander McLaren. Comes from a family of old money. However, he is Senian, living in Dysphoria.
Why would you suggest a Senian in this case, seeing as what they've been known to do?
He doesn't stand for what his nation has become. Hence the fact he's living in Dysphoria now.
McLaren is his name?
Yes, Donovan Alexander McLaren. The McLarens were a big, wealthy, industrialist family that invested heavily in Senia in the early years. And when their company was nationalized, I believe he ended up leaving the country. He had previously been their country's star. He had been an Olympic athlete.
Would it be the same as the Cars?
No, not the same family.
Oh, curious.
Food for thought.
Do you happen to have? Do you
Out of character,
happen
we
to
got
have?
like sponsor patches like Budweiser across our back.
Direct sponsors. We're like,
Eat it, Joes, you know.
Captain Amazing from Mystery
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm positioned.
After every success, we're like,
Yeah, I know
Always
exactly. This
have a
victory
product.
brought to you by Mountain Dew. Obey your thirst.
Do the do, not crime.
Exactly.
That would be
Right.
amazing. That would be amazing.
So, she says, yes, I actually do have his contact information. I believe he's actually residing in Strongford.
It's extremely convenient. Well, today would be the opportune time to do it, what with just happened. Do you know if... Let me actually ask you a different question, Ms. McCall. I know there are specific individuals who know of our true lineage. Do you think it would do us any harm for certain other individuals to know we are related to our father?
That's an interesting question. Given the name that you've chosen, I half expected that you were going to lean into that. And given the fact that you've asked me to find you PR representatives, I'm sure that that's going to be something that they'll would be interested in.
There has been talk amongst the team with regard to that, but also with regard to whether that would cause more problems for us or put anyone in danger, especially you, since you have been known to be related to us to a degree as far as professionally.
I've already got a target on my back, if that's what you're worried about. So I'm not really worried in that regard. If that's something that you explore, that means you're probably going to not only earn some of his accolades, perhaps, but you'll also earn the ire of his enemies. So it's going to be a double-edged sword. I'm certain it will help in some aspects, but it'll raise your attention probably in the wrong ways with others.
Thank you for the insight. We'll discuss that later to see if that's what we want to lean into, as you say. Thank you for the call and the information regarding Mr. McLaren. I'll definitely follow up with him immediately.
Not a problem. And if there is, if I understand it correctly, you are still dealing with some security issues potentially at your business.
That's correct. The Senian spy had information that indicated he already identified multiple SPBs working at my company. We do have Sagan trailing at least a few, but she's only one individual trying to watch over multiple as they head home each day.
Have you thought about partnering up with the Aegis Foundation? That is kind of what they do.
That has crossed my mind. Seeing as how we don't have any other options, I believe we may need to.
It could be. I mean, it was against my better judgment before, and you went against it and proved me wrong. So it would behoove me not to lean into that at this point and say that may be something you might want to look into as well, if for no other reason than the care of your the people that work for you. They would certainly be more apt to assist and have the skills needed to keep your people and whatever research that you're doing safe than any rental security agents that you might pick up.
I agree. Thank you again for that insight. We'll be contacting them as well. My people do need to stay safe. Was there anything else we could help you with?
No, just congratulations and good job with the work, and don't pay Tony Pope any mind. I happen to know him. He's really sleazy.
Duly noted. Thank you again, Ms. McCall.
Meredith out.
Yep.
She hangs up.
Yep. You turn to the other two. Excellent. Well, it seems that we have some work to do. We'll need to contact the Aegis Foundation to see if they can actually provide some security for individuals who are targeted by Senian agents, and speak to Donovan Alexander McLaren. So let's see. I go ahead and give Nene a call again.
Okay. So you call up and she says, there you go. Aegis Foundation, Nene speaking.
Hello, Nene. Hyperion again.
Oh, hi, Hyperion.
Is everything all right?
I'm sure it'll be okay. How can I help?
I was wondering if we would be able to obtain assistance with regard to protecting certain individuals at Quantum Unlimited. We know that the Senian agent, the spy who was being held at your HQ for a bit, who was targeting multiple employees at the company. And we don't have a way to track them or secure all of them at the same time. They may be targeted for possible SPB trafficking.
Oh, that's kind of a nasty bit of business. Well, I'm not really in the contracts area. I obviously work with our contractors like you. Um, you could always come into the office and and talk to one of the reps, or maybe Mr. Danvers himself.
Excellent. We will do that. Are they in right now?
He's got a couple meetings, but yeah, Mr. Danvers is in.
All right. We'll be making our way there shortly.
Okay. I will just hold on one second. Here's some typing. Okay, I've stenciled you in for an emergency meeting at 2 p.m.
Excellent. Thank you, Nene.
I didn't do this. Shh.
Oh, yes. Wonderful weather we're having. This was an excellent conversation. Take care.
Oh, of course. Totem pole out. Click.
Look to the team. Well, if both of you are willing, we can make our way to the Aegis Foundation and see if we can speak to Mr. Danvers himself with regard to securing the Quantum Unlimited employees.
Sure. Might as well. Sooner than later.
Excellent. All right. So, yeah, then go ahead and make our way to the totem pole.
Okay, so nobody else has anything to do. You're just going to get changed into civvies and head over to the Aegis Foundation Tower?
Aegis knows our identities, right?
No. That was something specific. I actually pointed that out when you guys filled out, because you guys were asking about the contracts. That was something specific.
But I remember.
Yeah, that was something specific that they left off because they valued privacy.
So are we going as we're going as Legacy then?
We would be going as Quantum Unlimited because we're aware that our employees are in danger and we may need superheroic assistance. We may need to contract this out to them for security needs.
So are we going in civvies? Are we going? I mean, if we go in civvies, then they obviously will figure out who we are because they know what we look like.
Fair point. Do you suggest then we go as our superheroic selves?
I don't know. This is a very strange.
You're still muted, Derek.
Circumstance.
Speak for yourself as far as looking the same. I'm striving to establish an identity that I can regularly go to. I can be an employee of Quantum Unlimited.
I mean,
maybe a consultant that is not there all the time, nor expected to be so, but somebody who has clearance. Would that be possible to put me on the books as
Joe Blow?
An alias? Yes.
Let's see, Jerome. We do have because Ixion, we do have him just as a head of a department. I'm trying to think of here. Okay. Never mind. So then I go, That could possibly be done, but it depends on how complicated you want your social interactions to be. If we provide too many identities for each individual, that could get complicated quickly.
As of right now, the two would be maintainable, because as the lead of my department in the genetics department, I believe that out of character. I believe that's what we had me as, is like some sort of biology and genetics, and that my expertise.
Yeah.
And perhaps like interacting with you know, some tech and like cybernetics and stuff like that from the genetic side of it. But anyway, as myself being lead there and my alias, that way, for those who understand that I am an officer of the company, then this would be an easier way for me to mingle without having the limelight on me as much.
I see. If you believe that you would need that in order to protect yourself, I don't see any direct harm in doing so if you're able to maintain that guise when you need to.
It may be also an opportunity in some cases, perhaps, to weed out anybody else who may have malicious intent to the company or individuals within the company.
Then you're suggesting you could act as a spy of sorts within the company, changing your shape and identity as you see fit to blend in.
If necessary, but I would be able to maintain at least this one alternate identification. Uh, but I could, as I am perfecting it, uh, eventually I could mimic anyone.
Interesting. For the time being, when we go, we should at least all be unified. I leave it to the team. Should we arrive as our superheroic selves or as agents of Quantum Unlimited?
Could I mean, since we've already made inroads about this topic, granted only to Nene, but and on Mr. Danvers' schedule, could we say that Legacy are the ones who have gotten wind of this this concern, or that we've been contacted by authorities at Quantum to handle this contract as a third party?
We could either do that, therefore we act as Quantum Unlimited representatives, who we are in our social lives, asking for that help, contracting that out because of Legacy's involvement. Or, since I, as Hyperion, scheduled this meeting just now through Nene,
Mhm.
and we did recently, as our superheroic selves, delivered and attempted to interrogate the Senian spy, we could arrive and explain that perhaps in order to intercept these effectively international terrorists, to protect our interests as a nation, or perhaps to protect the interests of the Aegis Foundation, that it would behoove them to stand guard over these individuals at Quantum Unlimited. Do either of you think that there are problems with either of these ideas? If so, we can choose the one that has no problems.
I think that, in essence, accomplishes the same thing. The latter seems a little more thought out, so that works for me.
And arriving as our superheroic selves, the legacy. Excellent. So be it. Well, if we're ready, stay suited up and head out. Yay!
I was thinking, man, I just need a mask to show if I'm like in or out of character. And then I was like, oh, I have a piece of foam right here on my desk.
Hello.
It's not quite right yet.
But it will be. Of course, you could always find one of those websites that produces those types of costume pieces for the folks that do real life superheroing.
Well, wait, the what?
Real life superheroes?
Like out of character?
Oh, hey, Game Tease. Yeah, like out of character. Yeah. But in reality, yeah, there are websites that do that for those types of folks. I used to have one because I knew some folks that did it. A whole other story, obviously, sort of connected to the picture that you posted not too long ago with what's his name from Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
Oh yeah. Feedback.
Yep. So at any rate, that was once upon a time, and actually, coincidentally enough, that's where the first iteration of Reich Shield came from.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
anywho, okay, so you guys are going to go to the Aegis Foundation in costume.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And thereby our private identities are not compromised.
Gotcha. And Brittany Game Tease says the best thing for you to do is glue little magnets to your temples and cheeks, and the mask will stay on there forever.
Perfect. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get right on that.
Exactly. So, okay. So you guys hop into the car and head on over.
Excellent.
You get to the tower. It's down. It's downtown. I'm assuming you park a little ways away and not take the car directly into the tower and go, of course, climb out. Because that would be a dead giveaway.
Right. Yeah. So we park a bit away, get out, make our way.
Okay. So you go upstairs, pass through the security check, obviously, that, of course, scans all of you as you guys are used to by this point. And somebody's waiting for you up front, one of the agents. And he says, right this way, please. We're sorry, we didn't realize we had an emergency meeting set for your group. So Mr. Danvers will be with you momentarily. He's kind of backed up right now with some meetings. And as you guys are walking to one of the meeting rooms, you end up seeing this woman come walking out. She's in a mostly blue and white outfit. She has kind of a little bit of shoulder armor that juts out, kind of like Pauldron's a little bit. Her top is one. I don't want to say colonial looking, but it has kind of a single button over, and the buttons go down on the one side. Pants with white stripes that come down with boots that have like a small kind of chunk heel to it, with the white stripe kind of coming up the front. She has black gloves and kind of an open-faced mask on with long kind of black hair. She is robust looking, not dainty by any means, not like your typical superhero characters where they look like they could just be, all femme, but bench a Buick. No, she actually has some bulk to her.
She's swole.
Yeah, she's got some swole going on. And in fact, all of you give me an intuition check.
23.
Good job, Brittany.
87.
Okay.
13.
All right. So the alien, who has no real reason to know, has actually seen her.
I've watched TV.
Yep.
What?
You've actually seen her on TV. Her name is Israeli Shield. She's the national hero of Israel.
Interesting. She's the national hero of Israel.
Fascinating.
And she
Wonder
kind
what
of
her
goes.
business is here.
She goes, just walking by. Didn't really pay your group, much heed, but wasn't rude about it either. She didn't like bump you out of the way. Just kind of walking out as if her business may have been concluded or some such.
So yeah, I guess we're waiting for the meeting.
Yep. I do not have a picture handy for her, so I will have to get that ready and have that posted at a later date. And it takes a little bit. You guys are waiting in the meeting room for about 15 minutes or so. One of the agents comes by and asks if anybody needs any water or anything while you waited. Did anybody need anything, water or whatnot? No? Okay, everybody turns it down. That's fine.
Oh, I mean, I guess I'm the only one who drinks water. I'll take a water.
Okay.
I was
So
like, oh, no one else is
they
doing
bring
it.
you a bottle of water with a glass, nice and chilled. And then shortly thereafter,
I could always ice it up for you.
What's that? Oh,
Is that up for you?
So then Mr. Danvers comes walking in. He's in a suit and whatnot, far more businesslike than what you're used to seeing. And he comes in and he says, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was on my calendar, especially listed as an emergency meeting. I've been in back-to-back meetings like all day. So how can I help you?
Yes, thank you for your time, Mr. Danvers. I believe you are aware of the Senian spy who we recently apprehended, but who's now been extradited from the country. He was being held here temporarily.
Yeah.
The reason we had him, of course, was because of the individuals that he was apparently tracking who work at the company in Strongford called Quantum Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
They are SPBs, recent employees there, and it seems that each of them may be in danger due to possible trafficking that the Senians are known for. We were wondering if the Aegis Foundation would have the ability to provide these employees with any additional security.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we could work something out directly with Quantum Unlimited if that's what you were looking for. I wasn't aware that this was something that they were interested in, but I'm sure something can be worked out. We could send somebody over probably tomorrow, given the time frame it's at right now, and maybe work some sort of contract out with them.
Excellent. It would seem that that would be best. The sooner that they could be protected, the better. We ourselves don't have the resources, of course, to watch that many people simultaneously.
Oh, no, I completely get it.
apologies for the
You're only 5 individuals.
apologies for the middleman treatment. We wanted to make sure that this was a possibility before we approached the company with this kind of solution.
Oh yeah, he just kind of smiled and he says, "No, it's quite all right."
Excellent. That individual who just left, she was from Israel, correct?
Yes. She was actually representing the UN.
I see. You have dealings with the UN currently. That is very important.
We are starting to, yes. Given some of I won't bore you with the details, but given some of the problems around the world, yeah, we are trying to work a deal with the United Nations. The Guardians, their UN-sponsored group, obviously, much like you, can only do so much in one particular region, and they're trying to expand their resources, and it would be a good contract for us as well.
Is there a particular region that they're concerned about?
I'm not at liberty to discuss just yet, but yes, they do. Mostly pertaining to Europe and Africa. So I don't anticipate leveraging your group for that at this point in time. But obviously, when or if that actually happens, we would fill you in with more details then.
Please do.
Excellent. Well, if there's anything else that either of you can think of, and I look to my team. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Danvers. I believe that's all we had for you today.
Okay, great. Short and sweet. So you guys, I guess, keep on keeping on. And if there's issues with transportation, let us know ahead of time.
Yes.
So
Understood.
we can work something out, like maybe a rental or something, if needed. We can work something out. It just, last minute sort of things can cause kind of a logistical issue, and I had to have a conversation with your dispatcher.
Understood. Thank you for your consideration and appreciation, Mr. Danvers.
Oh, no.
Have a good day.
Of course.
And I lean over, and so as we're walking away, I lean over to the group. We may want to thank Nene for taking the heat, as it were, for that.
I think I know a good florist.
Excellent.
I'll make a call.
Okay. So you guys are heading back out and back down to your respective cars, or car, I should say.
Yeah.
Are you changing or going to go try and track down Mr. McLaren in uniform?
Well, since that's going to be like a business venture, I think we should change into civvies.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. We can find a good phone booth to take turns in. Or, I could do the old-fashioned, nothing to see here.
There's that.
Are our uniforms such that we could wear just typical clothes over them without it being bulky? No? Okay.
No.
Kind of didn't think so.
No.
Okay.
No, since they provide actual protection, they're not like, skin tight sort of thing. So.
Okay.
They're armored.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You could probably
It's easy for me to change.
You could probably pull it off if it was baggy clothing and like a trench coat, but that would look like super suspicious.
Right. Okay.
I could wear a suit. Of course, your uniforms don't go inside of you.
Right.
I'm not built that way.
Yeah. I'm built different.
Okay, so we change and we go in search of this McLaren person.
Yep. Sounds good. Yes, we head back, change, and then first see if I can actually call Mr. McLaren. That way, we're not just like showing up unannounced.
Right. Okay. So you call, it chimes through, and you hear this, "Hold, please." From a female voice. And then picks up again. This is Mr. McLaren's line.
Yes. Is this Donovan Alexander McLaren?
I am his agent. How can I help?
Excellent. My name is Mark Annette. I'm the founder and president of Quantum Unlimited, a recent addition to Strongford's line of tech firms in the area. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite all right, Mr. Annette. How can we help?
Well, it's come to my attention that you have Mr. McLaren is now a resident in Strongford, and we have been trying to find ways to actually expand our business, what with new product lines and employees and projects. As you might imagine, that will require some investment. And we had word that Mr. McLaren may be interested in providing said investment.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, are you free today?
Yes, actually we are. If we can schedule something, we could be over right away even, if possible.
Of course. We have an opening at 4 o'clock. Why don't you just bring your things and bring your pitch, and I will stencil you in for 4 p.m.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It will be myself and two of my associates, just so you're aware.
Okay. I will go ahead and pencil you down in as one with what do they call it? 2 plus 1s.
Excellent. We'll see you at 4.
Okay. Stayings up.
All right. We may want to head to Quantum Unlimited to ensure we have any materials necessary to provide our case for them investing in our company.
Should we show them any examples, like maybe the scanner that we've already developed as potential products?
Yes, this actually works perfectly in our favor. What with the blueprints we recently made for the tech scanner and the electroaerodynamic flight suit.
I could bring some of my, though there's not really anything to present, I can give an educated summary of some of our genetic and biological studies and advancements that we're seeking to progress with.
Interesting.
With perhaps because out of character, like we're like technology and electronics, correct?
Yeah, high tech.
As long as it's of a nature that we would be comfortable sharing with, well, not necessarily the general public, but we don't know how trustworthy this person is. So I wouldn't bring any of
cybernetics is not anything that would be, and I'm speaking out of character. Cybernetics in that time frame is not anything that would be taboo. It would be like, oh, that's advancement. Wow, that's really cool. And I could put, and so with that being said,
it'll be extremely advanced for the time, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ixion states I could explain how we are seeking to possibly progress with the potential for cybernetics, which would include the potential for aiding people who have been injured or suffered loss of limb or loss of function within limbs, that a cybernetic enhancement may aid their quality of life.
Excellent. Like a extremely advanced prosthesis.
Absolutely. Though we would obviously keep any offensive capabilities to ourselves. But as far as the medical advancements, that could be something that our company, through my studies and my knowledge of the genetics and the interface with the body, could very well progress quickly. And especially with my beginning advancements with the nanotechnology. Although I would not decidedly go to the nano level with it, but with some of the advances that I've come across thus far, there may be possibilities for testing in the near future.
I agree. Yes. Jerome, since
Mhm.
the meeting is at 4, what time is it now?
Well, you had your meeting at 2, that was pretty quick, and then you got back, so you're probably pushing 3 o'clock right now.
Okay. All right. So there probably wouldn't be time to try to super science like something extra for Ixion's idea to like come up with some sort of rudimentary blueprint or anything within like a 30-minute time. No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh.
Excellent.
Would the advancements that I had prior to me halving my prior engagements, would that be something that could be presented viably without too much?
I don't think I understand.
So you had said that I had some of my precursor nanotechnology, and of this recent advancement with my
Mhm.
recent work, I cut the size in half.
Right.
So would that initial size be something that would be viable for some of this cybernetics potentially?
I mean, you're talking nanotechnology, the nanobite at this point. So it's not you're not really making the case for cybernetics. You're just making the case for little tiny robot creature that can do stuff.
Right.
So if you're
Which
trying
is
to
still
pitch
pretty amazing.
that, yeah, if you're trying to pitch that, then yes, you've obviously got what you have, what you had then, and what you have now.
Would we want to put forth some of that?
Do you believe you'd have enough information right now to provide a case that that technology is feasible within a reasonable time frame?
I've made these advancements in less than a month with the resources that we have now, which in relative comparison seems to be very little as to what Mr. McLaren could potentially provide for us.
Excellent. Do you have any of this information written down in blueprints or schematics as far as the progress you've made?
I have my personal notes, yes, and I do have the prototypes.
Are your
Fantastic.
notes in English?
No,
I
I
mean,
could.
it's possible that that Mr. McLaren um, is not especially scientifically minded. Maybe you could pass them off as equations or a code.
Yes, a cipher that you have due to the secretive nature of the details of the work.
Absolutely, that is quite possible.
Excellent.
thought.
Then you would provide that information. At the same time, I will provide the electro-aerodynamic flight suit schematics as information, and Lightbringer can provide the med scanner materials, along with the actual prototype that we use. That would be an excellent demonstration.
I think for the demonstration, I'll have one of you use it on me, and then perhaps on Mr. McLaren and or whomever is with us in the meeting. It's probably best if we don't try it out on one of you.
I do not think that the piece of equipment would be geared towards my anatomy.
So let's just avoid using it on either of you. We can do a little subterfuge there.
If we do not put ourselves forth as the subjects, then
Exactly.
fine.
So I volunteer for it to be used on myself.
Very well. Well, if we have all the materials here, our civilian clothing, it seems we're ready. Any questions? Excellent. Let's head out.
Do it. Do it.
Do it. Okay. So you guys climb back into the Carmen Mobile and drive on over to the address. It is actually, Carmen, you know exactly where you're going.
Where am I going?
You used to live on this side of town.
Wait, the nice part or
Yeah.
the not nice part?
The nice part. The very high end.
I'm gonna take a little detour and drive past my house, just
Okay.
see if there's any change.
No, I mean it's owned
I'm
obviously now, but no change. So you come pulling up, and this is the building itself or the home itself is like 3 stories. It looks like there's probably something built into the roof itself. It's got nice gardens all around it. Expansive lawn. And you can see from what you can tell, it looks like there's people up there right now. And as you come pulling up, and exit with obviously your stuff, some guys are out front and they're like, okay, you're the looks down the pad, you're the 4 o'clock.
Correct. From Quantum Unlimited.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Follow me. As you guys follow him, going on the inside, big, expansive, ritzy-looking home, like you would imagine somebody with a lot of wealth. It's big enough that there are phones on the inside of the house specifically designed to phone other places inside the house. So you're not yelling. It's it's serving as an intercom.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay.
So and he ends up taking you guys to to kind of like an adjoining room that is right off of the back patio. So it kind of opens up to glass doors sort of thing. He says, "Okay, you guys can set up here, do whatever you need. We're bringing the stage in. We'll have that in like a couple minutes."
Much appreciated. Go ahead and set up our doodads, the med scanner, and blueprints and all that jazz.
Okay. And so then, as you of course, they're bringing in a stage right now, and they're like in the process of working on setting up some lights. For on the overhead whatnot, and one of the security guards comes up to you, Lightbringer, and he says, "If you're needing some place to change, There's actually private restrooms just across the patio if you need to get into anything.
Should I be wearing something different?
You're not the race girl?
I'm sorry, the what?
The race girl, the girl that usually goes with the vehicle to model.
No.
Oh, okay. So he jots down something on his notepad and he says, "Okay, so there's no race girl." Okay, so scratch that. Okay.
We are with Quantum Unlimited, the technology firm.
Technology firm. Technology firm.
I am Mark Annette.
Oh, we. Oh, you're not from Formula One?
No.
Huh. Okay, so he gets on, like a little CB sort of thing, and steps out and shuts the door real quick.
Formula One. He has interest in the racing industry. Interesting.
And then right then, another guy comes walking in, opening the door and kind of like looking around. Great body, about. He's probably just past 6 foot. Not super tall, but tall enough. Long kind of brown hair pulled back to a ponytail. He's in he's got a nice looking watch and watch band around one hand. He's in a tank top, some slacks, and a kind of loose buttoned shirt that's kind of left like hanging open, but could button up if need be. And comes walking in. He says, "Okay, so where are we?" He says, "There's no car. There's no engine." And so then the guy comes walking in real quick and then like whispers to him, and he's like, you basically hear, like into his ear, inaudible whispers, and he goes,
Yeah.
"So you're not from Formula One?"
No, Mr. McLaren, I presume.
Yeah, Mr. McLaren. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
McLaren,
So forgive my
pleasure to-
ignorance here. So who are all of you and what? And he turns to the guys like, "Why do we have a stage here?" And he's just like, he kind of shrugs. He's like flipping through his papers. He's just okay. Just okay. You're here to sell me something. What's going on?
Mr. McLaren, we appreciate your time. I am Mark Annette, the proprietor, president of Quantum Unlimited. We have two of my associates with me. Ms. Carmen Cook, head of the Applied Sciences Division, and
I gave my name
My
is Stephen
friend.
Fetters.
Stephen what?
Fetters.
Fetters. Stephen
Fetters.
Fetters.
Out of character is the guy who did my back tattoo.
Okay, that's fine.
Random. Yeah.
The Stephen Fetters, the head of our Biology Sciences Division. We understand that you have had some interest in making prudent investments, especially in up-and-coming companies within the Strongford area.
Yeah. How did you, I'm sorry. So if I don't know who you guys are, how did you hear about me?
Do you know of a Ms. Meredith McLaren? Or Ms.
McCall.
Meredith McCall?
Yeah, the reporter lady. Yeah, I met her at the Olympics. How does she tie into this?
We have some contacts between her and ourselves with regard to trying to outsource marketing and so forth. We have been making some progress with different types of technology, especially with what's happened within the area as of late, the Fairside crisis and whatnot.
Oh, right. Nasty bit of business that was. Okay, so clearly not Formula One. Tech geeks with high tech stuff to pitch, right? I kind of got it. Okay.
That's correct.
Well, since we have a stage that shouldn't have been here, it's all yours. Show me what you guys got.
Thank you. We will begin first with the information we have with regard to two different types of prototype situations, blueprints that we have developed. We simply need the materials and funding to begin, and we'll finish off with a demonstration of a already built medical prototype, a device that currently does not exist in the industry, especially not within the United States. And then I go ahead and demonstrate the electro aerodynamic suit information, explain what it does, how it would be superior to any other type of possible flight suit out there, applications all over the place, very safe because there's no moving rotors. It just needs a power supply that could be very efficient, all that jazz. And if he has any questions, I do my best to answer them so that even if he's not a brilliant tech geek or anything, he'd be able to understand.
So you're introducing essentially the flight boots pack sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
He says, okay, not to be a Debbie Downer, but doesn't New Prussia already have something like this? This isn't like a copyright infringement or something?
The technology they use to provide the propulsion is actually outdated. What we have here uses no moving parts, and I show a little bit of the area where there would actually be, instead of a rotor, it would just be electrified plates that moves ionic wind and provides enough thrust. At the same time, I believe that this would actually be at least 2 to 3 times as efficient when it comes to power draw. Therefore, any additional power supply that we'd add to it would not inhibit its flight capabilities.
Okay, so these are just plans. You don't have any working prototypes at this point.
Not as of yet.
For this suit, yeah, not as of yet for this suit.
Hmm.
It can be made once we obtain the materials.
Okay. What are your estimates here for testing? Because obviously you have to go through testing phase and then obviously production phase. So what do you think it's going to take to get a working model?
So then going over the numbers that I've already come up with as far as
okay, give me a reason
the
check.
Materials and all of that.
Sure, give me a reason check.
Sure. All right. Reason is amazing, and we've got 92.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah,
pretty sure.
you get it down to within a variable of 100,000. You know, like really, really close. Like you estimate all the way down to, okay, well, if this fails or if that fails or where I can get this source and so on, you get it pretty darn precise within the 98th percentile. And he says, okay. Jump off a building, fly down. Okay, I'm digging it. Okay. So obviously no working prototype. What else you got?
Next, we have Mr. Fetter's information with regard to possible nanobot or nanite construction modules.
You're muted, Derek.
You muted again.
The contentions of dealing with the 5-year-old.
Oh, no. I understand. He gets kind of loud a little bit, so I appreciate it.
I say, yes, Mr. McLaren. I have 2 different things that I'm currently working on. I say the biological interface with the potential for cybernetics. I am a geneticist and biologist, and I am also delving and becoming one of the local, or at least local, aficionados on nanotechnology, to where the interface between the biological aspects of a human, in the event that there may be limb loss or limb compromisation, that through nanotechnology and cybernetics, the potential for, you know, advancement for that person in an artificial limb or artificially accenting that limb are many possibilities. The physical sample that I have right here is actually my current progress. And I pull out the this example here is my first prototype of the nanotech. This is something that I had come up with and finished approximately 4 to 5 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, and I kind of show them a little bit of what it does, you know, and some of the aspects of it. You know, it's very simple at this point, but and I said, and now this is something that I have advanced in roughly 4 to 5 weeks time. I have halved the size, and I'm showing that model.
Okay.
This is something that I am fully confident that with this advancements of the minimal resources that I've had, I could potentially exponentially advance this technology rather quickly.
All right. So you're working on nanotechnology and superflight suit. Interesting. What else you got?
Well, now here we have another prototype that we've actually begun testing. It is a medical scanner, and then I'll show him um, the machine and kind of explain how it works,
Okay.
and then um, I'll hand the scanner over to Mark and ask him to scan me.
I take that and I walk over so that Mr. McLaren can like actually see along with me, so he sees like the doodad and sees what the readouts are, and then I use that to scan her and like point out the different things that it's showing up and explain what the different readouts mean.
Okay. Then give me. Actually, no, don't do that. I need to give me a roll. Wow. Okay. That was impressive. So he's looking at that, and you know, as it scans, you know, Carmen, and he goes, and he kind of looks at everybody for a second. He looks back at her, and he says, "Okay, did you mean to show me this?"
I beg your pardon?
So I mean, he's looking at the he's like, does this readout print or is this just all on the screen?
I'm going to take a look at the readout and see what he might have flagged.
Okay. So give me an intuition check, and you can use your medicine related skill or talent, I should say.
Intuition.
Yeah.
$69 is yellow.
Okay. So the readout that it's showing, actually, I mean, it gives a really good breakdown because you guys were pretty thorough with your med scan. If someone knows what they were looking for, they can identify the deviant gene. Although, admittedly, it's not coded obvious. It doesn't like flash on the screen and say "boot," but basically it gives a pretty decent genetic makeup of, down to the too much cholesterol, so on and so forth. It's a pretty thorough scanner.
You're very perceptive, Mr. McLaren. I'm impressed.
Well, it comes with the territory. But I ask again, did you mean to show me that?
Well, you can see that there are a number of applicable uses for such a device, and in addition to the medical scanner, we've been able to apply the same sort of technology to another technology scanner.
Okay.
And here is how that works.
Okay.
And
But
then
that didn't answer my question. Did you mean to show me this? I take it your friends
may
here
not
know
have
that you're
heard
a
of
deviant?
they are aware.
And you both are okay with this?
Absolutely. I'm a geneticist. I'm quite aware of what her
What would it take
genetic
to remove that particular line of coding from your software display?
It's simple.
And this is not a residual, like it can't be downloaded from a separate. You can remove that and inhibit it from going that far?
Of course.
It can be done.
Simple programming.
It's a rather...
If I may be so bold, sir, why the pretense on preventing that?
Well, if you know me, you know where I come from.
We do understand that that is a very hot button topic in Senia.
That's one way of putting it. Another way of putting it is that I have distanced myself from that sort of thing, and the last thing I want to do is fund a device that's going to pick up people with that particular gene and raise all kinds of red flags.
I assure you, sir, that is the furthest from our intent. We are, I don't know if sympathetic is the appropriate word, but at the same, we are sympathetic to those who have the gene and hold no prejudice whatsoever.
Okay.
Obviously, a mass production of this particular device would perhaps contain limited parameters for the general public.
So what is your optimum use for this particular, not the tech scanner, but the medical scanner? What's your target audience?
The target audience would primarily be emergency medical personnel, emergency rooms, EMTs, perhaps even medics.
Clinics.
Small town clinics, exactly, and possibly even medics within the United States military within combat situations so that they can rapidly assess injuries and provide the right type of care.
So let's say I was interested in this sort of thing. How hard would it be to rig this with a protective device or a layer of protection that would disable the device should somebody attempt to alter the programming to enable it to scan for that type of person.
You're speaking of some sort of a simple self-destruct with regard to the coding within the device.
Something along those lines. Because what you're proposing, while well intended, if somebody knew how to modify that, even with just that, like a brute force, you're selling an item that could be potentially mass market produced to cause all kinds of problems for deviants.
I believe this would be of great help to everyone, and if you believe that we would need to place safeguards on it, that can be done with relative ease.
And you said your name was Quantum Unlimited, and you're here in Strongford?
That's correct.
All right. I'll tell you what. Call me colored curious. Why don't you arrange a time that I can take a tour of your facility and see what this place is all about, and we'll discuss more then.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, sir. And I go and shake his hand.
Shakes your hand.
I'll shake his hand also.
Okay. He's got a firm hand grip. You know. Carmen, why don't you give me an intuition check? You're probably the only one here that would probably get this roll based on the collective backgrounds.
32.
32. Okay. On your intuition, which your intuition's halfway decent.
Oh, actually, it is. That is a. Do I get a column shift on anything, or just straight?
Straight.
I mean, it's barely in the green, but it's in the green.
It's a green. Okay. Now that you recall, Donovan Alexander McLaren was actually in the Olympics for Senia in the 1992 Olympics.
Do I remember what he competed in?
Acrobatics.
I guess I could mention that. It's been a pleasure meeting you, sir, after seeing you on TV some time ago.
Oh, yeah, that. Well, I mean, we had just gotten invited, and I took the gold for a country I would eventually leave. So, mixed blessings.
Well, you know, half the athletes don't compete for their home country anyway.
Oh, well, it's nice of you to say that.
But your achievements are impressive nonetheless.
Well, looks around. Thanks. Comes mostly from old money.
We look forward to showing you more what our company can do.
Sure. Yeah. So just don't call my people, because clearly there's some sort of disconnect. Just call the house line.
I thought he was going to say, "We'll call you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just call the house line. Clearly, you're not Formula One, so.
Excellent. Again, thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
As we're then heading out, Hyperion tries to use his total memory ability
Okay.
to see if he can compare the size and overall shape of and what McLaren sounds like,
Mm-hmm.
to see if it would be a match to Wraith his shape and what he sounds like.
Okay, give me an intuition check.
Okay, what I was thinking was, is there some surreptitious way that I can medical scan this dude without him noting? Because I'm pretty sure he would not care for that.
Give an intuition check.
I only got a 23, so nothing.
Yeah.
And I got a 24.
All right.
Better than me.
We got nothing. Nope.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe when he comes to visit.
I rolled a 24 too, if that makes you feel any better. I just rolled just because.
Right.
In solidarity.
Yep.
Yeah.
In solidarity, we are in the 20s.
No reason why. I'm just like.
Collectively, we got a good roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our powers combined.
So outside of that, you guys take your things and head back to the car and leave.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. When we get back, then I would call like a like business contact team or whatever at Quantum Unlimited so that they can reach out to this home line to schedule that tour for Mr. McLaren.
Okay. Yeah, and the person you speak to, they'll get it set up post haste.
Cool.
And that is where we will stop for the night because we're already 3 hours in. Had a good run at a game. I hope you guys had fun. I certainly did. Our next game is going to be the 6th of August. Is that a yay or an A or a nay?
6th of August.
I may be absent. I may be late. We shall see.
6th of
Good on
August,
my end.
I will be camping. I think that's like the last hurrah of camping for the year.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, so a bunch of maybes. Plus, we got some people who aren't here, so we'll have to see. So other than that, outside of that, if you guys catch us on video on demand or if you're watching right now, Brittany and I will actually be live for the family gaming experience over on Party of Two RPG channel here on Twitch, as we are talking all things gaming and cosplay. Mostly cosplay, and having some interviews and good conversations. So looking forward to that. And until then, I hope you guys that when you guys watch us and tune in, hope you guys have a good time. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Good night, guys.
Night.